How you guys doing? My name's Arian Tay, and I'll teach you about what it takes on being a scholar. What definition that I found about being a scholar is a person who has studied a subject for a long time and knows a lot about it. And some of these traits go along with being a scholar. Being persistent, being passionate, ethical, has a lot of productivity, connection, and competitiveness. And I found these traits, and I thought they're important to being a scholar because you want to be persistent. You want to know what you want. You want to know how to get it, and whatever it takes, you're going to do it. You're not going to give up. And you also, that comes with being passionate. You find something that you really like marketing or psychology or topic computers that you really love, and you want to excel well in it. You got to be a scholar first and foremost. So you want to be passionate about it. You also want to be productive. You want to be able to see results because you can't move forward if you don't see results. So, and then connection. With being a scholar, you got to be able to talk to people. You got to make connections. I mean, the saying goes, it's all about who you know, not what you know. But sometimes it can be, it's all about who you know with what you know. So I think you got to be able to talk to people, communicate, and make a connection with them so you can move forward. And also a little bit of competitiveness. You want to have, look at someone that's ahead of you and have a goal of wanting to pass them. So if you don't have any competitiveness, then you just feel like you're on top the whole time. You're not gonna be productive. You're not gonna be passionate about it because you're gonna feel like I'm too good. There's nowhere else for me to go. And then also you want to be ethical about it. You want to do things the right way. You don't want to cut corners. Plenty of people cut corners in this world, and it comes to bite you later back. So you want to be able to do it the right way, the best way, and that's what I see as being a scholar. Also, in this class, CE 300, we were supposed to discuss about an everyday hero who we thought was a scholar in our mind. And in my mind, I picked Cephas Tay, who was also my dad. My dad, in my eyes, is a scholar because he relates to all those traits that I talked about before. He's competitive, he's got connections, he's able to talk to almost anybody. He can barely speak the English language, but he's able to communicate, make people laugh, and develop a connection with people. And I admire that so much, and I value that every day in my life. He's someone that was born and raised in Ghana, in a totally different country, but at the age of 25, came to a whole new country with one suitcase and started a life. And he started a life and developed a wife, 2 kids, a single-family home. He's got a career. He's able to put one kid through college and another one on the way. And he's just a role model in my eyes and someone that I also look as a scholar. He went to a 2-year school, got a simple business degree, and he was able to open up his own business, Link Services, which was an office cleaning business. And he did that for many years, was able to put food on the table, and even though some nights were hard and long, he still went through with it. He never gave up. He was passionate about it. He was competitive. He knew people how to get in that business. He loved it. And then later on, he was able to move on to film tech. And now he's been there for 18 years. And now he's worked his way from the bottom up to just an engineer on the clock, clocking in 9 to 5, to the head of the safety department. And FilmTech is a company that deals with water softeners, so they turn any kind of water into clean drinking water. And they're global. They're all over the world. So I just look in my eyes and wow, someone that came here with nothing, one suitcase, was able to do that. And it's remarkable. It's awesome. In this presentation, we're also supposed to discuss about our student plan and our professional plan. Academically, I like the topics of marketing, advertising, and communications. Those 3 I feel like I not only like, but I can excel in the future once I get into the adult world. So I chose to develop my major around those 3 core topics. So marketing will help me is kind of the whole umbrella of advertising communications. So I decided to solely focus on that. And then advertising, because I like pictures, I like commercials, I like all that stuff. So I thought, okay, I'm going to add that to my realm of topics that I'm going to study. And then communications, because I also like talking to people. I like getting to know them, making connections as well. And it's just, words kind of intrigue me. I like being able to be playful with words and wordplay and whatnot. So it intrigues me. So I wanted to add that because it helps with marketing, because you want to be able to talk to people, sell them something. I mean, not be a sleazy salesman and say what they want to hear, but say it in a way that they'll like it and present it to them like, oh, I see it in this perspective opposed to this one. So that's why I added communications to that. A couple careers with those 3 majors I was looking at is real estate and being marketing management. More say real estate because that's just a passion of mine that I just developed as a young kid. I moved around a little bit, like 4 or 5 times in my childhood, but each one of those times I helped my dad out with like going online and searching for a place. I was like, hey dad, come and check this place out, come and check that place out. So we go with the realtor on Sundays and look at it, and I just love looking at new buildings and architecture, and it was just something that I just fell in love with, but I never thought I could turn into a career. So I'm very confident with these three topics that I can turn real estate into a career of mine. So moving forward, we're supposed to talk about social justice. We talked about that in our class and in the work field, more say in a career that we want to go along with. In social justice, a definition I found is where all people within a work field share a common view of humanity and believe and implement equal treatment regardless of one's race, gender, or economical differences. Within real estate, it's massive. There's plenty of people that can join the organization, which is awesome, but it does have its downfalls sometimes. Sometimes if you are someone of a certain race, you might not be able to sell a home opposed to a different race because people are going to look at you differently. So they're going to want to be comfortable with their realtor on selling their home because that's a precious thing. That's a big step in someone's life. And they want to be with someone they're comfortable with, not someone they're uncomfortable with. So that's one thing that might be a difficult barrier for me to cross over, but it's definitely one that I'm looking forward to handling. Another one with real estate is economical social justice. It's a job that's really related on commission. You don't really get that salary every 2 weeks and a paycheck that you can look forward to. It's based how hard you're working and they paid that. So it's all incentive. So if you don't have means of money to begin the work with in real estate, it's going to be hard to excel in. So I have a plan that I want to work in like sales or marketing and develop like a background and some experience with selling and bring up some means enough so I can afford to live that real estate lifestyle and work that lifestyle. So in case there's some minor setbacks, I'll be able to be on my feet and not suffer. Gender gap. Women generally earn 79 cents for every dollar men earn. This is another social justice we learned about within my class, that many organizations suffer through gender gaps. Mainly, I looked into marketing, that within the business world, that women earn 79 cents to every dollar a man earns, and I found out in 2014 that men average yearly $50,000 a year, opposed to women who work in the same exact job get $39,000. And that's a topic we talked about. We had a few discussions, and I thought it's something that needs to change as soon as possible, because it makes no sense if this human is doing the same exact job as me, but making 20 cents cheaper than me, or working for 20 cents less than me. It makes no sense when they're doing the same exact job, sometimes even better than my superiors. So it's a topic that we studied and looked into, and just something that kind of raised some eyebrows within like what kind of work field I want to work in, and companies, and like how they pay their genders based on female or male, and if it's an ethical business. So. And then also we talked about in this class is the Erik Erikson theory, and this theory was developed by Erik Erikson, who's a psychologist, and this theory is based on stages of development within a human's life. So as you can see here, there's 8 different stages. The first one beginning from birth, and the last one, stage 8, going all the way from 65 up until death. So the first one is trust and mistrust, and the basic virtue is hope. And then the stage that we're in, being in school and in college and young adult life, we are in the stage 6, intimacy and isolation. And that more deals with trying to find love, basically, a partner to develop a relationship with. And most people at the young adult age feel like if you don't find that love, that partner, that soulmate, then you're going to resort back to isolation. You're going to feel lonely. And I also think that we're also in the stage 5, ego, identity, and role confusion, because we're also trying to find ourselves. We're trying to find our identity, what role we play in this world. So I feel like you have to move on from stage 5 in order to move on to stage 6. Because you want to feel like you know who you are in this world, what you're going to do, what's your purpose. And then from there, you can kind of let an opportunity arise of finding your partner, and then that will eliminate the isolation part. So that's kind of a a thing we talked about, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, and then being educated affects all. Being educated, being a scholar, affects you socially, professionally, and financially. It affects you socially because you're able to communicate with your peers, you're able to communicate with your coworkers on a higher level instead of just not being mute and not being able to communicate in topics like politics or like work-related stuff. So it definitely helps you in that realm. Professionally, it helps you with being able to find a job. So I kind of believe in luck, but I more so don't. I believe luck happens when you're prepared, and when you're prepared, it brings up opportunities. And when you're prepared plus an opportunity, that's when you get luck. So I feel like it can definitely help you in the professional field. Financially, being a scholar can definitely have its benefits. I mean, once you can able to succeed professionally and socially, I mean, this one just kind of comes second-handedly. So being educated affects all of those three in a positive aspect if you use it the right way. Thank you, and I hope you learned a little bit about being a scholar, about my major, what I like to study, my life plan, academic plans, and all of that.